So I'm gonna do a little video on a few of what I now know are the symptoms of ADHD that I just didn't realize could be related to such a thing in the past. So, because yeah, a few people, Shirley, have gone, oh, I didn't realize that could be related to ADHD. And I think until the beginning of this year, I just thought of ADHD as like, I guess the image I had of the kids that I went to primary school with who had ADHD. Were generally like fairly hyperactive kids who were really naughty and crazy, and I don't think I'm naughty or crazy very often. Oh, no, I think I had big misperceptions. So I thought if I just answer the question of like, what are some of the things that are ADHD related that I didn't realize, then maybe that will help people who are like trying to work out if it works, if it's something that they might need to explore a bit more for themselves. There's a bazillion, so I'm not going to do them all in one video, maybe just like 3 at a time. But I've spent my whole life trying to get to know myself. Like, I'm very curious about, my washing machine is going off and I really need to hang the washing out. Actually, that will bring me, I can reference that in a little point I'm going to make later. Don't remember what I was saying just before, but there was a bunch, I spent my whole life trying to work out myself. I am always trying to understand why I do things and where is that feeling coming from and what does it relate to, and like, it's just this very highly active brain overthinking thing, which I actually, people have, oh no, that's a tangent. Rein it in, Kristen. I think that the biggest, most surprising one for me, which I've talked about in another video, is sleep. I've spent my whole adult life not being able to work out why I fall asleep during the day all the time. Check out my sleep video if you want to hear more about that. But in short, the symptoms that I now realize are rubber stamp ADHD are falling asleep when I'm bored, my brain just completely disengaging, my nervous system going, no need to be involved in this when something is not stimulating. Nighttime sleep, very, very restless, always restless. I have always talked in my sleep heaps, yelled in my sleep. The other night, I was fighting a bunch of people off who were attacking my dog, and I punched someone in the face twice really quickly and hard, and it turns out it was real life. That part was real life. And I punched my partner in the face twice in my sleep. I felt so bad, but he's amazing. And he was very forgiving and understood. So these sorts of things they come out of a loss of atonia, which is something that normally people go into when they're in REM sleep, which is body paralysis. Like, your whole body, it disengages from the active thoughts, and it doesn't, if you're running in your dream, you don't run in real life in your bed, because that would be dangerous. So our brains over time have worked out that we should disengage that function. Turns out ADHD people are more likely to have a loss of atonia. So they act out their dreams more. There's not a complete disengagement of the nervous system while they're dreaming. And so they yell and they whatever. So that's characterized my life. The number of people who I've been camping with, or partners or whatever, who have people I've shared rooms with, who have woken up with like funny stories of conversations I've had with them during the night, or with someone else during the night, an imaginary person that's in my head. Didn't know that was an ADHD thing either. Okay, so sleep is one thing. Another thing over the years I came to realize about myself was that it's like I said it to my psychologist a couple of times. I was trying to understand why I operate the way I do. I notice everything. It's like this hyper awareness. I have attention everywhere at all times. It's like my brain doesn't filter out the things that most people's brains filter out. The flitting bird in the tree, which it's not important information. And so most people's brains filter that out when they're doing something else, when they're having a conversation, or when they're busy with something here. Their brain doesn't notice the bird in the tree because it's not important information. And most neurotypical brains have good filters that only let through the sensory information that's important. My brain doesn't. It lets all the information through, which means I am completely hyper aware of everything that's going visually and in my ears. The sound and vision, all my peripheral vision is very heightened. I can see everything that's going on. My poor children, like in my peripheral vision, and I make memories of it, so I can recall. Like my memory for that sort of visual stimulus is incredible. Who would have thought that something called attention deficit disorder could be expressed in too much attention? So that's exhausting, obviously. If I go into a shopping center or if I go somewhere where there's like heaps of people talking to me or whatever, that's overstimulating because I don't sort the information and just let in the important stuff. All of it comes in. It's exhausting, and I end up quite by the end of an hour at the shops or whatever. I talk about a useful tool that I found one time, these little earplugs which just have reduced that so much. That's amazing. Anyway, I'll talk about them another time. Let me write that down. Audio Karma. Okay. That is something that characterized my life. Didn't realize it was ADHD. The exception to that, again, this is ADHD too. Sometimes your brain doesn't have the capacity to deal with all that information, and so it just shuts everything out. It's like all or nothing. It's basically the life of an ADHD person, all or nothing. So if I am reading, it's funny for me, there's a couple of things. If I'm reading, typing, writing, or watching moving pictures on TV, even if I can't hear the sound, my brain shuts everything else off. People talk to me, I can't hear, literally the sound doesn't go in. It's like my brain just puts up big walls and goes, nah, this is enough. I'm dealing with this at the moment, can't deal with anything else. So that's another thing I didn't realize was a thing. It's a thing, apparently it's a thing. And the other part of that, has brought me to some of my best strategies that I've come up with in life to be able to keep on top of the important things like feeding my children and animals and washing, staying on top of the washing or the cleaning or whatever, is that if I can't see something, it doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. It's not in see or hear. It's not in my awareness. It's nowhere until I have an actual visual reminder of it. So I moved house recently. This house, the washing line, I can't see it through any of the windows of the house. So if I hang washing and I don't walk past it for anything, it's like out the back all by itself. If I hang washing on the washing line, it doesn't exist anymore. I can't see it. It doesn't exist. It stays on there for 3 days because it just isn't on my radar. Cannot remember that it's there. So I've just had to adapt, and I do all my washing and I hang it on a dryer, like a drying rack where I can see it all the time. And then it's constantly reminding me that it's time for the next step in the process. One day I'll talk about washing and how it's been the bane of my existence, but how I had an epiphany that enlightened me about my whole life through the washing. I'm gonna write that down, washing. That's the thing beeping at me. So this is great that my washing machine repeatedly beeps. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs that. I need that. If it does, oh yeah, that's right. Also, that's why I've got pets who I have to see my pets. My guinea pig has a clear cage, like we made a completely perspex box, or maybe I'll put a picture up, in the middle. It lives in the middle of my house. Cats, dogs, they're always near you. You always see them, you know they need to be fed. Chickens have to be in view out of my kitchen window, otherwise I'll forget about them. The guinea pig lives literally in the center of the living area. So he's like part of the family, and we can see him wherever he is. He can see us wherever we are. He's just here's dinner with us. It's wonderful. In a self-contained box, obviously, but that means that I never forget. I can always see his water. I can always see his food, and I can always monitor whether I see them because I'm aware of everything. If I can see it, I know what needs doing, do it. Because I've got a mantra. I'll make another video about mantras. Write that down. Mantras have been my saving grace. And the third thing, 11 minutes already. Okay. The third thing is no capacity to create memories for uninteresting menial things like picking up or putting something down. My whole life I have said to people, I think there's a damaged part of my brain. There's like a little hole in the part of my brain which registers picking up or putting things down. Because I have something in my hand, I have it, I look down, it's not there. No idea, there is no memory of opening my hand and putting it down anywhere, no memory at all. So like, I lose my mobile phone for 3 months because the battery goes flat. And then 3 months later, I'm getting canned tomatoes out of the back of the pantry and there's my mobile phone in the back of the pantry because I'm so focused on getting whatever it is out of the back of the pantry. I've got 2 busy hands. I have to empty one in order to be able to get so focus to task, get me can. I've just put my mobile phone in the back of the pantry. Didn't make a memory of that. Do my business, no memory of putting the phone down there. Yeah, remote control in the freezer, all of those sorts of things. I thought there was a problem with my brain, like a hole, little bubble where that part of my brain was. It turns out that's an ADHD trait too. Okay, that's 3 things, and that's my longest video yet. I'm sorry, and I hope that is helpful. I'll talk about some other things another time. Love yous all.